So, of course, we have the Fallout 4 next generation updates arriving very shortly. Well, not very shortly, but sometime within 2023. We don't know when at the moment, but there is going to be a Fallout 4 next gen mode releasing soon, and this will be for the next generation consoles and PC. And I thought it'd be a cool idea just to go into Fallout 4, play a bit of Fallout 4, talking about what we're going to be getting with this new version, whilst also looking at the current version of Fallout 4 and comparing what will be different when we do get this new version sometime within 2023. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're just going to be playing some Fallout 4 on PC and just seeing how it is at the moment, all these years later, since of course it's the same game it was really from 2015. Of course, there's been updates and mods along the way, but generally speaking, the idea of the game is, well, the exact same. So yeah, here we are in Fallout 4. This is right at the beginning of the game. I've never actually played the game before on PC. I always played Fallout 4 over on PlayStation, played it a couple times on PlayStation 4 and a couple times over on PlayStation 5 as well. And also I've tried it out on Xbox too, but I've never actually touched it on PC. Now obviously PC is where you're going to get the best of the best in terms of playing the game. It's going to be the best experience, and that's where you're going to definitely get the most out of the game at the moment, since of course over on PlayStation the game is still at 30 frames per second, and then on Xbox you do get 60 frames per second with the FPS boost feature, which is on the next generation consoles, but of course it's not fully optimized. It's not always 60 frames per second, and it doesn't always work that well, but it is definitely there, and it is very useful for those that want to be able to play the game, and it definitely makes it a much more playable experience, particularly for a game that's, well, a first person game primarily. It's much better to have 60 frames per second. It's a much better experience, and obviously on PC the frame rate really is sort of unlimited. I mean, right now this is 165, and yeah, you can really, depending on the power of your PC, you can really go above and beyond in terms of frame rate. And that's obviously with this next gen updates, that's a point in which this won't change over on PC. It's always going to be this sort of, the frames per second will always be the same. There's not really going to ever be a difference there in terms of PC, but obviously, yeah, console players as well, they'll see the big difference there. But either way, yeah, here we are at the start of the game, and as you can see, the graphics straight away really aren't that bad, to be honest. I don't think that there's really an issue there in terms of graphics. I think they already look really nice, particularly on PC. Now, I must say, straight off the bat, I'm playing on very high settings on a 3070 Ti, so I should be able to handle the game like this fairly fine. But straight off the bat, I'm not even on the maximum graphics settings, I don't think, and the game already looks a lot nicer than it does on PlayStation 5, which is quite something. Of course, you have to remember that on PlayStation 5 it's using the PlayStation 4 version, but it's pretty interesting just to think that, wow, this looks a lot nicer than it does on PlayStation straight off the bat. Of course, I'm playing at a higher resolution. I believe the PlayStation version of the game is only 1080p, which obviously would be expected for a 2015 game, but it's interesting just to see the difference here that there is compared to playing it on console. So yeah, the idea here is that obviously the game is going to feel a bit different. It's possible that with the next gen version we'll get ray tracing. Right now on PC that isn't an option in the vanilla mode. I'm sure there's mods out there that will enable ray tracing, but right now in vanilla there isn't any ray tracing over on console or on PC. So that's something that we should hopefully see on both versions of the game. And of course, we're also going to be getting loads of bug fixes. There's loads of crashes on the game, particularly over on console in certain areas such as Boston. There's loads and loads of crashes that are always happening for all players, and they've been an issue since the launch of the game, which is really disappointing, and really disappointing stuff, to be honest, from Bethesda there, that's never been fixed. It's definitely something that should have been fixed fairly early on, but it never was. So hopefully with this next gen upgrade, Bethesda have confirmed that there is going to be bug fixes, so hopefully that will be fixed. They've also said there's going to be some bonus Creation Club content. Now what that will be, we have absolutely no idea. That could literally, that could really be anything. It could just be mods that Bethesda really likes that they're going to officially implement into the vanilla version of the game, or it could be literally just something really small or something brand new, some really big stuff. I mean, that's obviously something I wouldn't expect. But something interesting is whether they'll release that bonus Creation Club content for the other players over on PlayStation 4 and also on Xbox One, since, for example, with games such as The Witcher 3, there was actually a next gen upgrade for that recently, which I did loads of videos on this channel, and they actually released the DLCs on the older consoles, on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and even Nintendo Switch as well. Obviously, this game isn't on Nintendo Switch, so they couldn't really do that, but either way, it's pretty interesting that that was actually what happened, and it'd be cool to see whether they release that DLC over on the older consoles. Whether they will, we have no idea. They've not said yet at all. We really don't have much information at the moment, so hopefully at some point there will be, there will maybe be that DLC over on the older consoles. So obviously at the moment, we have no idea when this is going to release. All we know from Bethesda is that it will release in 2023. Other than that, we have absolutely no idea when this will release. Now, of course, we do have the Starfield release date of September, early September, that we do know. So it's possible, and in my opinion, that this is going to release right at the end of 2023. I think it would be, we'd have more info if the game was going to release before September, and I don't think they'll release it that close to the release of Starfield. So, I'm talking August or maybe, October. I can't really see them releasing this. I could see this being in late November or December. I think that's really likely, and when we will probably get this, since if it was to release next month, I think we would have a lot more info than we already do. So just something worth noting there in terms of release dates. I would say probably at the end of 2023, and definitely by the end of 2023, unless there are any sort of delays, but I can't really see that happening. I don't see that being the case, but I just thought it'd be cool to have a look at this older version of the game. Obviously, this is the original version with no next-gen updates, no mods, the vanilla game on PC, and it does look quite a bit different, I have to admit, to the PlayStation version of the game and the Xbox version. Now, I played it on a Series S, and I did get 60 frames, I believe, but it didn't look as good. Obviously, it was a Series S, and even on PlayStation 5, it doesn't look this good, so pretty cool stuff. So over on PC, the differences won't be as major. The major differences really when it comes to PC with this next-gen updates will be the bug fixes and the bonus Creation Club content. And then over on console, of course, particularly on PlayStation, getting the higher frame rate of either 60 or 120, we don't know yet. And then, of course, the improved graphics is definitely something that would be really nice. And yeah, all of that is going to be a really, really cool addition to the game. And definitely something that will be much loved by players. To be able to get a next-gen update all these years later, the game released in 2015, to be able to get that update now, all these years later, is something that wouldn't be expected, but we have been getting it quite a lot recently, which is really, really nice to see. And definitely something that is a positive. It's definitely a positive, providing, of course, that it works well at launch. Of course, there's a bit of a history with games at the moment that they don't work well at launch. But as you can see on PC, this is already a great experience. I think this is a really nice experience on PC. More than playable, definitely at the moment the best way to play the game. And then, of course, there is available on consoles, but right now it's a bit outdated, so to be able to get this next-gen upgrade is really going to make a difference over on consoles, mainly with that high frame rate. I think that's the main highlight for me when it comes to this next-gen upgrade, and of course, some slightly improved graphics would also be great, and improved texture resolutions and everything like that would also be awesome, but overall, providing it is a good launch and it works well, I can see it being a great improvement. Lots of bug fixes, some new mods, hopefully some more mod space over on consoles as well, that would really be nice, and yeah, just some improvements, some overall minor improvements to the game, could definitely make this a game that could last a lot longer than it already has. It's already lasted a very long time and still has a very healthy player base as well, so be able to last even longer would be really, really impressive and definitely something to look forward to. But there we go, that was just me going into Fallout 4 on PC for the first time, checking it out, and I have to say, yeah, it's a really nice experience. Plays really smoothly, feels really nice, definitely a great way to play the game. If you're looking at playing the game and you have a PC, then by all means, I would say go for it. You can get this game for about under £5 these days, so definitely worth it. So yeah, that does just about wrap up things here. I was just checking out Fallout 4 on PC, talking about what to expect when it comes to its next-gen upgrade, releasing at some point in 2023 for the next-gen consoles and PC. Now, on screen now, you're seeing a link to a different video. If you're interested in watching that, then just hit the link on the screen and go ahead and join me over there.